So, just in honor of Tantra as the spiritual practice, in this group, when we talk about it, my intention is that we make a distinction between Tantra as spiritual practice and the beautiful thing that is sacred sex. If it's sacred sex, we'll call it that. So, so how do we define the term Tantra, given that, you find it in Buddhism, you find it in Hinduism, you find it, in Western culture as tantric sex. You find it. It's like it's amorphous. If there were 13 people in this room right now and they were all Tantra experts, and we all defined Tantra, you'd get at least 13 different answers, right? So, but now you get mine.
Right.
And you have to suffer through another story. I just made this story up actually on the elliptical the other day. And it's about a woman. We could call her Nikki. We could call her Sophia, the wise goddess woman, right? And she was on the spiritual path. That's the mystery of this whole thing, is that we have to use metaphors to describe it. And one of the most popular metaphors is that it's a path. You have to walk this path, right? Or it's levels. You have to move through these levels, right? And you really got to, work it. And so she did that. She took workshops. She worked with a shaman. She took plant medicine. She did landmark forum. She did a vision quest and found out her spirit animal is the wolf. She went to Tantra pujas. She did therapy to clear all of the demons of her family of origin, and she cleared all of the times that she'd been abused and mistreated by men, and she did all these things and walking this path, and she was getting kind of tired. She really felt more awake and alive, and there'd be moments when she felt love in her body and she felt connected with everybody, but then she'd come back down to earth, and it was okay, but she was just getting kind of tired. There's a part of her that was weary. And then so one night, Nikki Sophia had a dream. And in this dream, she was walking a path. And it wasn't like this lush green path in this forest, but it was kind of cold, and it was snowing, and it was winter. And she walked a little ways, and then off to her left, she saw a wolf. And she just kind of glanced at the wolf. The wolf looked at her, and there was something there for her, but there were no words. So the wolf just kind of nodded. So she nodded at the wolf and kept walking. Walked a little farther, and off to her right was this wise old man, looked kind of like Merlin, dressed in this long purple robe and that silly pointy hat and this scepter like this and a long gray beard. And this wise man looked at Nikki Sophia and said, "It's winter. It's okay." And then, like as often happens in dreams, it just kind of morphs into a different scene immediately. And as she took her next step, she saw just a few feet in front of her this beyond beautiful goddess dressed all in white and radiating light and smiling and beckoning her. And so she walks up to this beautiful goddess and looks in her eyes, just feels love in every cell of her body. And she says, "Who are you?" And the goddess says, "I'm you. And I've been here all along." And then the goddess turned her head. So Nikki Sophia turned her head and she looked, and it's like, oh, there's a big cliff here. This is like the freaking Grand Canyon. And we're standing right at the edge of it. And the goddess took her hand. And in that moment they joined and became one. Nikki Sophia was the goddess, the light being. And she turned her back on the cliff. and did the trust fall backwards, right? Off the edge of the cliff. And as she was falling, she found her wings. There's a Rumi quote like that goes, birds make great sky circles of their freedom. How do they learn it? They fall, and in falling are given wings. So that's my definition of Tantra. Tantra is an invitation for you to be that god or that goddess. You can walk the path if you want, And sometimes it happens when you're having a spiritual winter. It doesn't happen when you're working your hardest at it. But who knows when the hell it's going to happen. But the God and the goddess is here right now, waiting for us to do the trust fall.